Quick Rundown.
Well, Davis Fang joins us live direct in the United Kingdom in the studio. Good morning. What a lovely jumper.
Thank you. Hello, both of you. And yeah, this is my favourite festive-ish jumper.
It's not festive at all.
It's kid-sized.
It's because you were only little. So it's a little teddy bear with a rugby ball. It's very cute.
Thank you. My proper festive jumper will be hopefully coming next week.
Well, we breathe
good
South
to hear,
African.
yeah.
Good to hear. Where's yours, Georgie?
I didn't get the memo.
Right, okay.
Sorry.
Everyone's fired. Again. Lots of tech stories, aren't there?
Yes, there are.
Let's start with this. I was quite surprised by this, but this is a massive merger of two networks, telephone networks.
Yeah, so obviously this isn't the first time it's happening, and we have actually talked about the UK's terrible 5G network.
Terrible.
In the past. It's among the worst in Europe, and that's mainly because of a lack of investment. We were forced to replace all of our Huawei 5G towers with ones that weren't, possibly influenced by the communist government. However, this merger might be somewhat of a solution to that.
So this is Vodafone and Three?
Yeah, so it's Vodafone and Three, and it's a £16.5 billion merger, and this could actually form the largest telephone network in the country. And hopefully, with 27 million customers and all that money behind it, they could sort of help the 5G crisis that we've got in this nation.
So it's more than that, isn't it? Because the government has allowed it to go ahead, this merger to go ahead on the condition
they invest heavily in the infrastructure.
Exactly.
Network, yes.
Because you're right. I mean, for a allegedly developed nation, the signal quality in this country is appalling.
Yeah, and it really is because of the Huawei situation. So when we were rolling out our 5G network, we relied on the Huawei 5G towers, which are actually among the best at the time. However, due to possible CCP influence, we've been replacing it over time with some of them are Nokia towers, and they just aren't as good. And we need a lot of money as well to replace all of them. And it just hasn't been there when we've got such a fractured network. However, with these two networks coming together, fingers crossed, we should actually.
So you think it's a good thing?
Yeah, I actually do. However, in the long-term competition, it's not great for that. But in the short term, for our 5G network, I think it might actually be a good
And also,
thing.
just thinking back, because Virgin Media merged with O2,
Yep.
so you've had consolidation of all of these networks.
Yep.
Now, that can't be good for the consumer, can it?
Yeah, Orange also merged with T-Mobile, I believe, to create EE, which then got taken over by BT. So this is not the first time that something
EE got taken over. Oh, yes, right,
So
okay.
it's EE-BT. So this is not the first time that this has happened. The
That's a
Unite
catchy
Union
name.
is saying, I know, Unite Union is saying that this is going to add £300 to our mobile phones. Mobile phone bills are already come into the kind of crosshairs of the Competition Markets Authority for being so high, and of course you have these mid-term contract rises that people have to bear, and they're really shooting up, aren't they? So there is that. However, it's that infrastructure investment that I think swung it, because the CMA first of all said it, actually we think it might raise bills for consumers, and then all of a sudden they've U-turned and said, actually no, they probably won't, and it's better for look, it's better for competition, they even said, but surely by having 27 million people on one network, where's the competition going to be there?
Well, not only that, what happens when it goes down?
Oh, don't.
Well, that seems a logical argument for me. I mean, I was just looking back, excuse me, but when you look at those, the deals that have been done in the past, there have always been job losses on the back of it.
Yes.
Excuse me, I just died.
I think around 2,000 in total for those two that I mentioned there, job losses, although Vodafone have assured, saying, no, this is actually going to create jobs.
OK, let's move on, shall we, and talk about iPhones. This is Indonesia playing a bit of a blinder.
Yeah, so Indonesia has actually found a great way to bring back their manufacturing sector. And this is something that we could possibly bring to the UK, although I probably wouldn't suggest that. So Apple in Indonesia has announced that they're going to create a $1 billion investment to build a manufacturing plant in that country. And the reason behind that move is because Indonesia actually banned the iPhone 16 earlier this year. They've also banned the Google Pixel phone, citing non-compliance with local content regulations. And those regulations are basically that 40% of smartphone components need to be sourced locally. That could either be software, hardware, could be achieved in a variety of different ways. And the thing is, is, Indonesia, surprisingly to a lot of people, is the 4th most populous country in the world. A lot of people don't sort of underestimate the size of the population there. And Apple's got 12% market share. So this is something that they definitely don't want to lose, as that is a significant amount of money.
So Indonesia played a blinder.
They really did. Google's probably not going to do the same, although their Pixel phone is banned because the market share is so much smaller. But this has really worked out well for Indonesia, and also arguably Apple, because Apple's been trying to diversify their production process. They've got new plants in Brazil, India, even the US. So adding Indonesia to that list actually might not be the worst thing as well.
That's what I said about supply chains. With all this global, you know, what fluctuations going on at the moment, shall we say, geopolitical tensions, they are looking to diversify supply chains, and
now,
it wouldn't be the first company.
Well, indeed. So, shall we move on? Because I don't understand the story at all about Spotify Wrapped. Start at the beginning. What is it doing? What should I know about this?
OK, so Spotify, David, is a music streaming service.
I know what Spotify is. But, no, I know that. And I like Spotify, and I ask it to play tunes.
Yeah, so Spotify Wrapped, however, is the viral sort of annual tradition that Spotify's been doing over the past decade, and it basically provides a list of your most listened to songs and artists over the past year. So, David, if you would want to share your music taste, which I'm sure is probably terrible.
Everybody's hanging on all that. Oh, here we go.
If you want to, like, listen to, you know, share your music taste to the world, then Spotify provides a list. So, Georgie, who's on your list? Who's your most listened to artist?
I don't know. It's doing its business, first of all.
How do you get it? How do I
if it's Taylor Swift, I'm so embarrassed. No, wait for it.
It's on your Spotify app, and traditionally in the past, it's either in a video or it's in a photo. However, this year, they've decided to do...
I listened to 9,500 minutes this year.
Oh, you need to get a job.
That's all right.
Top 33%.
Where am I pressing on here?
So if you go onto your Spotify home screen, there should be a Wrapped section. If you press on that...
Oh, Wrapped, yes.
Yeah, you can either see a video of your most listened to artist, like what Georgie's doing right now.
Yeah.
But this year, the new feature is a AI-generated podcast. Oh, OK. See, that's not bad.
It's my running tune.
You haven't got shocking taste. She's Australian,
She hasn't got shocking taste.
You see, I've got that
Unstoppable
DJ
by Sia.
Unstoppable, that's a good song.
It's my running song.
Anyway, so this new AI podcast is using Google's Notebook LM, which is an AI tool that synthesizes information into a conversational format.
Right.
And then basically you've got 2 AI-generated, sort of like radio hosts. So imagine like an AI version of you, David, talking about someone else's most listened to songs of the year.
Okay.
I believe we might have a clip like of an example of what this is like. So I'd like to hear your thoughts on it, David. Like, is this something that you would possibly be interested in?
Okay.
That's nice.
All right, everybody, welcome. We're your hosts.
From Google's Notebook LM.
And we are so excited to unwrap your 2024 Spotify Wrapped.
It's like opening a musical time capsule, you know?
Totally. You spent 4,998 minutes on Spotify this year.
That's a lot of listening.
It is. Puts you in the top 44% of listeners globally.
So you're basically a musical trendsetter.
March 5th was your peak music day, 172 minutes. I wonder what you were up to. Must have been an epic day.
Maybe a road trip.
Okay, let's talk top tracks. The song you played on repeat all year long.
Drum roll, please.
It's Hold On To Now by Kylie Minogue.
83 plays. Starting way back in January.
Talk about dedication. And get this.
What?
You're in the top 4% of listeners worldwide for that song.
Wow.
That's some serious Kylie love right there.
I wonder if it was a daily anthem for you or like a mood booster.
Right.
Maybe both.
Yeah, and basically...
So these are AI
Kylie.
voices?
Well, David, your job is over.
I actually found it to be quite listenable.
Saves my life when you've heard my music list.
There's been a lot of controversy online about this. A lot of people have been saying it's pretty unlistenable, it's pretty shocking, it's alarming.
awful.
But I actually quite...
Really? I
I
thought
found it
that
quite
was
charming. Because it's 2 fake people talking about your taste in music. It's only for a few minutes.
Your lack of discipline, the fact you've done nothing, you've listened to far too much music.
I listen to my music when I'm running. That is not doing nothing. Or when I'm cleaning the kitchen.
I listen in the gym.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, and I'm sure it's full of great tunes. And you can have 2 AI hosts talking about
I
that.
imagine mine is quite full of 80s music. I'm just thinking it through. Probably.
All right, I'm sure we'll find out after the break or something.
We could. I will ask it. I will ask it. Well, that's a very good segue. Well done. You've done this before. We should take a break. We should take a break whilst I look at my my music choices throughout the year. Davis will return after this break. Don't go anywhere. Well, we're in the middle of Tech Rundown. Davis Fang is with me, and I'm learning what I've been listening to on my Spotify. Well, so I've only done 3,518 minutes.
How could you?
Well, I'll tell you why, because I don't normally just... Ooh! Well, I'll tell you what. Yeah, I know, I just saw what I listened to. But I listen to various... I don't necessarily use the phone because I listen on Alexa.
Oh, okay. So with
she won't link to this
with Amazon Music.
Yes.
Amazon Music, they have their own wrapped as well.
So my top played song was Erasure, A Little Respect. So there you are. Apparently I played it 17 times. So obviously I quite like it. Actually, I saw them live. Amazing. Absolutely incredible. Right, anyway, but that's enough about that. Shall we move on? And this is actually quite an interesting story from our cousins in Spain.
I believe so. So the Spanish government wants to implement health warnings on smartphones, a little bit like how we've got those scary images of packets of cigarettes. So the Spanish government has appointed a committee that's recommending measures to address the health impacts of mobile phones, mostly in regards to screen time, as in the amount of time that you spend on your phone. I'm just wondering, do either of you know how long that you spend on your phones every day?
Too long.
Far too long.
Yeah.
Because I actually checked on my phone, my own phone yesterday, and apparently every day on average I spend 11 hours looking at screens.
Oh, wow. How do you find that
11
out?
hours, which is rather alarming.
Do you ever look up? Have you actually noticed what's going on in the world?
Well, the thing is, it does measure your screen time across devices, so that includes iPads, laptops as well, which is looking forwards instead of just down.
Well, it's also work.
Far better, precisely. Yeah. Anyway, so they want health warning labels mandatory on smartphones and digital devices, similar to cigarette packages, as I just said. And this is quite interesting. They want it so that when you go to your GP, they will ask you for your screen time. Just how do you feel about that?
Wow.
I think GPs have got enough to do.
I've already had 2 hours today.
Well, have you? I mean, what I think is interesting about this report, 250-page report, which has been seen by the newspaper El País, says that children under 3 should not have any exposure to digital devices, which is interesting because I know that lots of children are very... I mean, a 3-year-old can work an iPad like there's no tomorrow. Up to 6 years old, you should only access them on an exceptional basis. Between 6 and 12, children should only have dumb phones. I kind of agree.
Yeah, and then beyond that, from not from the Spanish report, but from other reports, 2 to 3 hours is recommended, but that's just for recreation hours. So that's not including work time staring at screens. And that actually goes off Ofcom's national online report from last week, where they apparently UK adults are spending significantly more time online this year as opposed to last year. Do you want to guess what the average amount of time that an adult in the UK spends on looking at screens?
What, a day?
Yes, a day.
Mine is more than the average because I can see the screen in front of me and I'm now just feeling really bad. Yesterday, apparently, I spent 9 hours. Although, does that count? I listen to Audible a lot and I leave my phone on the side.
Yeah,
Does that count?
If the screen is on, then it does count.
Oh, fine.
Well, that's fine.
So the average is 4.5 hours for UK adults. So that's still a fair bit. And it's actually more for younger people. 18 to 24 is 6 hours. And people aged over 65 is 3 hours.
Well, I mentioned this yesterday. The fact is, I watch people going to a concert and they spend the whole time filming the concert instead of actually watching the concert or living in the moment.
Yeah, I actually do find that quite annoying because you're there to experience live
also, you're
music.
little, so you can't see because everyone's got their...
So my favourite thing actually is I've got these glasses with a camera in it. Fantastic for concerts. So you can experience the concert but still film at the same time.
There's an ethical issue to those glasses.
There's a major ethical issue. But there is a little red light, isn't there?
There is. There's a little flashing white light. So there's that. And you're not staring at a screen.
Don't like that.
See, I don't think that's appropriate.
No.
You'll come around one day.
No, I
No.
won't. I don't think you should go around filming people like that when you go and buy a sandwich and things.
I'll bring mine next week and then you can judge.
All right. Okay. Fine. Let's move on from that to hearing tests.
Yeah, so we followed this feature like a few months ago, and then this is a follow-up of that. With the latest iOS 18.2 update, which is coming next week, your AirPods Pro 2 will be able to be used as a hearing aid, finally, in the UK.
As a hearing aid?
And also, you can use it to check your hearing if you've had any hearing loss. So that's
really
all very
good.
exciting. So
How's that going to work?
So basically, when you pop your AirPods Pro 2 in, you'll receive an update, and then it will perform a test. If the seal is okay, it'll play different sounds and then judge your hearing loss depending on that. And then after that, it will create a custom profile for your ears and then hopefully improve your hearing.
So there's a really important point to this, which is I know that I've lost, my hearing is not great in one of my ears, and that's because of my misspent youth when I was running a disco. But because, well, that's true, and the music was far too loud. But also for older people, unrecognised hearing loss is a real issue because of cognition, engagement, and so this is quite interesting that it sort of broadens out. I don't think people are aware you can get a high street hearing test, for example. So I'm quite.
So it destroys your ears in one hearing in one capacity, but then it can test it in the other.
I've actually
How much have we destroyed it?
Yeah, by our earphones. That's probably the thing that does me.
I've actually been wearing my AirPods during concerts because actually it's a very convenient way to reduce the volume of the music without actually having to buy.
You must look attractive with your ears in, your little glasses on.
Incredibly attractive. And also it reduces a bit of stigma for people who refuse to wear hearing aids, which I quite like.
Very good. And very quickly, I love this last story. It's the festive season, 16 days to go. What is new on the horizon?
Well, in the US, you can order something called Uber Carolers. And basically, if you've got a house party going on, if you want to bring some festive joy to your workplace or to, a neighbor who's fast asleep, for $60, you can order a troupe of talented, they actually call them talented carolers, and you can send them straight to your door. And apparently, according to Uber, they are all professional. So hopefully, fingers crossed, they won't sound shocking. And they will sing songs at your home, your office, or holiday party.
I love it. So you can basically call an Uber for carolers.
Yeah.
$60 is a snip, isn't it?
Yeah, it's actually quite remarkable. However, you do need to purchase a drink as well. It can be non-alcoholic. And apparently some people have been using it to prank their neighbours, which I find quite amusing. And if you go on your app in the US, it'll appear as a gingerbread icon.
Oh, I love that. Now, this is Uber Courier, apparently.
Yes.
They're rebranding this. But also you can order other things, like a Christmas tree.
Yes, you can. And then this is all part of Uber's attempt to be seen as not just, a food delivery service or a rideshare business. Rather, you can get anything ordered and delivered through Uber.
What would you order for Christmas by Uber?
A full Christmas dinner, because I don't like cooking.
Yes, that's a great idea.
That is a great idea.
Thanks.
Maybe a nice
But I want the
reindeer.
carolers. I've never had carol singers outside my house.
Yeah, I've never seen that.
No, is this
Haven't
an
you?
American thing in movies?
No.
Does it actually happen?
It happens in rural
If you'd
communities.
like to...
Oh, I thought it was a distinctively English thing. I was looking forward to seeing carolers this year.
No, I've never
I
seen
think
them.
you will see it in smaller villages and towns. I don't think you'll see it in
See them at a few
central
train
London.
stations. But,
Yeah, Salvation Army.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah,
if
could
anyone
be
wants to come
fun.
to my house and can...
Well,
All right,
we'll all
we'll
pop
order
round.
one.
We'll all pop round.
No, talented.
And talented singers. Davis, thanks ever so much. Always good to see you and your little jumper. That was today's Tech Rundown.
Tech Rundown.